Okay, today we have a spicy one for you guys as we talk about Exfilzone and Ghost of Tabor. Today we're going to focus on the state of the game. I want to just clarify that I'm not putting these two head to head, which I might do a little bit. But seriously, ever since this game, Exfilzone, got released, it's created an all-out war, honestly. A war between individuals to say which camp you're in, which Discord you're in, one's better than the other. And in my opinion, I think both games are actually great. And I'm not saying that because I'm Canadian, I'm saying that because they are. And we're gonna talk about the state of the game today. Let me first say that it's in my opinion that if both of these games are successful, it is great for our little virtual reality world, because we are in a niche gaming world over here, and in order for it to grow, we need more players, we need more eyes looking in. And every time a great VR game comes out, player base grows, the VR space grows. So how are we going to do this? Well, we're just basically going to give my perspective on the state of both of these games and how I see it. Is it right? Is it wrong? Doesn't matter. But I'm just going to give my take, how my brain works on each of these games, and see if this rings true. Some of us don't understand why we feel a certain way about a game until we start to get down to the brass tacks, until we start to get down to the details of what makes up the game. So starting off with Contractor Showdown Exfilzone, the game was released in December, roughly mid-December, around the 19th, I believe. I can't really remember the exact date. The price of the game is roughly $18. Exfilzone was released as a free-to-play alpha to begin with. It was supposedly closed, but then it was open. I don't know. It was a bit of a kerfuffle at the beginning. It didn't really get started until, for me anyways, until it got released in January on Steam, which if you owned Contractor Showdown, you could play Exfilzone, the extraction mode, for free. And so that's the current state of the game right now. As of within the week, the 24-hour peak on Steam was 295 players. That doesn't account for the Quest 3 standalone, or any standalone for that matter. But this is just the Steam numbers. So 295, almost 300 peak. So when it comes to an extraction shooter, a hideout, a bunker, or a safe house really makes up a story of the extraction shooter. It's what you go back to after grinding out these raids, and it just adds to the whole picture. And when it came to Exfilzone's hideout, I loved it. Love it, still love it. It is incredible. I love the progression behind it. You start with Hideout 1, upgrade to Hideout 2, Hideout 3. You get the shooting range. You've got the generator. You got the GPU room. It's beautiful. No doors. That's my biggest gripe with Ghost of Tabor, is I hated the doors. It was cool for the first 10 hours. Then after that, I was just tired of us opening doors, just getting lost in my hideout because of all these doors. And just having one big room was just so nice. The hideout also allows you to upgrade over time using items in game. And I'll get to Ghost of Tabor talking about the loot system, but being able to loot a map to upgrade your hideout just brings more to the story. And I love that about Exfilzone. It reminds me of Tarkov. It gives you a reason for looting items in game because you're going to upgrade your hideout. And so they did such a good job on hideout, the area, the orientation, and the upgrades. The first thing you will also notice, which gives you the wow factor in a game, is the quality of life in Contractors is incredible. It is so good. The hangups in gaming or in VR can be frustrating and annoying, but it seems like whoever was in the head of quality of life at Exfilzone, at Caveman Studios, just hit the nail right on the head. They did such a good job with hand loading mags. So nice to be able to customize your body armor, allowing you to put the modules wherever you want with different sizes, allowing you to put the body armor on backpacks as well as guns, which guns have done before. But we had never seen that before. It's not a new concept. It's just a new concept in VR. To see that done so well, it just kind of rolls up and goes on a certain backpack slot. Being able to put the ammo in pouches to reload ammo for magazines on the fly, just so good. So the quality of life is just great in Contractor Showdown. I think they did such a good job. The looting system is comprehensive. I like the looting system in this game. This is what I believe an extraction shooter should be about, and it's the biggest gripe I had with Ghost of Tabor, and we'll talk about that shortly. When you go into a raid, your loot pool in Exfilzone is very big, and it's not about gear. You're not looting the map for gear. You're looting the map for items and valuables, and I believe that's what makes up an extraction shooter. I believe that there should be points on the map that maybe you need a key to access to get you armor, but not every crate and room you go into, you're just getting equipment the whole time. It just gets boring. I want to pick up all sorts of different crap that I can relate to in real life. The household items, the PC items, all sorts of different stuff found on Exfilzone is just it's just refreshing. It's what makes up an extraction shooter in my mind. So I love the looting system and the loot pool in Exfilzone far greater than Tabor, to the point that I just think Tabor is broken. So yeah, the items in game mean something. It's a valuables based system, not gear when you were raiding. Being able to take out your own buddy's kit all on a backpack is amazing. I mean, that was another wow factor for the quality of life is, not having to choose. So if your buddy dies, say, hey, what do you want for your gear? I can't take it all. But in this case, I can. I can take his modules off, put it on his backpack, put his helmet on the backpack, and I could put the gun on the backpack. So super nice that way. Talking about the gunplay is hard. It's harder than Ghost of Tabor. I don't think it's better. I believe they're both different. I personally like this gunplay better. I think it requires a little bit more skill in the sense that you have to use single fire mode almost 70% of the time. And then you could full auto when you're in close range, probably within 40 meters or something. But if you're full auto all the time, unless you have good trigger discipline, you pull full auto when they're 50 meters or more. I mean, it's a toss of a coin. There's a good chance you're not going to get that kill, and which requires a lot of people to do single fire tapping. And it's just fun. It's just fun gameplay. I think it's more realistic as well. And so I really enjoy that about this game. So I like the gunplay. It needs work though. There's a problem with bullet sponging when it comes to the gunplay. If you're a solo and you get the drop on a trio and you start laying fire downrange, and especially when you have the drop on them, you should be able to get one kill. And I'm talking within 100 meters or 150 meters, somebody standing still. There's something going on there where if you don't get that kill initially, I mean, good luck trying to actually kill the entire team. It seems like you're punished for having good aim as well because you're just smoking them in the head and everything's just ricocheting. So there's maybe a little bit too sponginess going on. There is this time to kill that is much longer, which I'd like, but maybe I think that. But with that said, I don't really have the answer for this because I haven't really studied the numbers to know why. But I think the gunplay, the character interaction with the guns could be adjusted. And I don't know what that takes. My reference is, depending on what gun you have, typically 90% of the guns you have, it takes 6 to 7 shots to kill a player in the limbs, meaning legs, arms, or stomach. 6 to 7 shots, 2 in the chest, or 1 in the head. So based on those numbers, if armor comes into play, you just need pen at that point, but it still would take 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. So yeah, I do enjoy the gunplay. Again, I think it needs tweaked with regards to player interaction. It's spongy. It seems like you're being penalized for that. You got good shots, you got good placement, but you just can't get the job done. And in my mind, that's a broken system. Definitely as a solo, I don't want to make this long exchange of just spongy shots at each other. I want to make kill shots. I want to see if I make a good shot, the player goes down. The mission system in Contractors Exfilzone, I like to say when it comes to this game, we were basically spoiled. I feel like, sure, how they got to this point was through making the game Contractors and then Contractor Showdown. So they had a bunch of experience and a lot of assets. But I'm just talking about out of the gate, what was delivered to us based on what we have already in the market. This game is incredible. With the mission system, it's super comprehensive. And you can tell that somebody worked, you can tell that somebody worked hard on it. The point of the mission system is to teach you the game. It's to bring you along. It's to give you a story. There is lore to it. I don't pay attention to the lore. I think lore in extraction shooters get missed a lot. I think cutscenes need to happen, maybe, or videos to be played. And so when it came to the mission system, I didn't pay attention to any of the lore. It would have been nice to be brought along, but that's a
that's a hurdle that extraction shooters need to figure out how to bring players along with the lore. It would tie us in a little bit better. What it does is there's 3 maps in the game currently: suburbs, dam, and metro. And based on the mission system, there's about 20-ish missions on each map, it feels like. And so it draws you into each map. It forces you to play each map. And you need to get the mission system done in order to progress your traders and to progress your players. So I love, love, love the mission system. It is incredible. Which leads me on to the next part, which is the traders. Traders are great as well. What you'll find at the traders is it's pretty reasonably priced. It's not hard to make money in this game once you know the HVIs, which is the high value items. You can make a lot of money in Contractors Exfilzone. So the trader system in this game is actually pretty straightforward. You have your 5 traders, but what they've done is they've taken the high tier items and they put it behind a barter, which I love, honestly. You can't just make a lot of money, buy the best gear. You actually have to barter for the good gear, which I really like. I love that. It gives you variety. If people don't have that item, they can't run that particular gear. You know, you can't just do what you want, run what you want. There's times where you have to actually go into a map and just start scavenging the map, even end game, because if you want to run a particular piece of gear, you're going to start looking for those items. Whereas in a game like Ghost of Tabor, you know, you don't have to open one more drawer once you get past, you know, a certain level. There's no reason for you to grab items anymore. It's just a matter of what makes you the most money, and then you just grab that, and you don't have to loot anything else on the map. There's no reason to loot the map anymore. Whereas in Exfilzone, looting the map will get you barter items, and it looks like the barters are changing, are dynamic in a way, or they've changed them. From what I can tell, they started out. There was, for example, one of the grenades was a barter for 2 remote controls, TV remote controls. It's no longer that anymore. It got switched to another item. And I think that would make the game great as well. I think some of the high tier stuff should probably stay the same, but having a lot of the barters in there dynamic, and so it just causes you to loot the map, is a great idea. Maybe it should have a timer based on that. I'm not sure. The medical system. So the medical system is very close to something like Escape from Tarkov. There is 7 limbs or 7 separate body parts in Exfilzone. 2 legs, 2 arms, stomach, chest, and head. Each has the ability to get shot individually, each taking different damage amounts on the body. 2 shots to the chest, 1 to the head. Limbs are a bit more spongy. With that, they also brought in bandages, like 4 different size syringes, a stapler, and some painkillers. Also, like 5 different military stims, some for endurance, some for carry weight, some for morphine or painkiller. So very comprehensive, complex medical system, but simple at the same time. Awesome. Love what they've done with the medical system. I think it can be improved. It can be enhanced in some way with different items, but I love it. I think it's worked out great. My biggest gripe with it is indicators. When you eat food in this game, you can clearly see how much food you've eaten. You can see how many bites you have left. Whereas the medical system, there's no indicator of uses. You don't know for the painkillers, for the syringes, for the stapler, you just can't tell. Unless you have the mic out, you can't tell how much is left. And I think that's just a pain in the butt. And so that should be fixed. I had such a great time with this game, and this is the first wipe that everybody's been a part of, that I ended up creating a task guide for it, which is pretty comprehensive, which speaks to the game as well. There's a lot to this game. And some would say, oh, that's way too much for me. No, that's what makes a game great. It's not too much that you can't figure out what it's doing. It's so much that it can draw you in for hours on end and just bring so much fulfillment. When I started playing this game, it would have been very shortly in, I would say things like, man, this game feels very full. It feels very full, meaning it feels like a full house. If somebody was building a house, it feels like the walls are up, the drywall's up, the insulation's in the wall, the roof's on it, the shingles, they've got heating in there, they've got paint on, they've got the trim on. So very detailed, very full, very all done and well done, you know? Whereas when I would compare it to Ghost of Tabor, I found that Ghost of Tabor was, you know, a frame. And you could see that it was a house. It was a frame. It had a roof on it with shingles to protect it from the rain. Maybe had some walls up, but it didn't have plumbing. It didn't have insulation. It didn't have, you know, drywall. It didn't have trim. It felt like a shell. Like I always said that Exfilzone felt like it was 3 times what Ghost of Tabor is. And again, I'm giving my perspective. My perspective doesn't have to be right, but this is how I have perceived things. This is how I have experienced it, and I think a lot of you guys can relate. So overall, Exfilzone, great job. Developers have been over delivering. I also believe that the developers are experienced. I think they do a great job in developing this game. I think the graphics could be better, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the future of this game. I don't know if it's going to be super successful. I don't know if the game will be dropped. I don't know if they have a good vision for the future. I don't know if they'll make bad choices with content and adjustments. I'm just saying the current state of the game has me excited, and has many people excited, which I like about this game. So currently we're in March 2025. The game is in its first cycle or first wipe. We believe it's going to wipe in April. I think we've reached the point now where most people have experienced the game and we're ready for that next wipe. So my hope for this next wipe is that it's a content wipe as well. They have done such a great job over delivering when it comes to patches and content. My hope is that it's a new map. I hope that they add new missions to draw you into that map. I hope that they do night mode for each map except for something like Metro because it doesn't need it. Dynamic HVIs. I don't want the HVIs to be set spawns where they are right now. It's causing the game to be a little bit too predictable, and they need to fix that immediately. It's going to get boring really fast by the end of this next wipe. Everybody knows where all the HVIs are, and they're just going to run there every time. With that as well, I really hope they add a prestige system. It probably won't come this next wipe, but I really, really hope for a prestige system. It gives some players that are grindy to prestige. You're setting them back to 1, losing all their gear. I think there should be a reward or a benefit to prestiging. It will make it so that you will have all walks, or it will make it so you'll have all levels of players throughout the wipe. You'll have people at 1 or you'll have people at 40, depending on if they prestige or not. And I just think it makes for a dynamic player base, dynamic player level system throughout the entire wipe. I think prestiging is actually crucial with an extraction shooter in my mind, but it hasn't really been done yet well and successfully. And so I'm excited to see if they will implement this. They haven't even talked about it, but I really hope for a prestige system. And also, one of the quality of life that I want them to add is some sort of indicator on the med system. I want to know uses. I want to know how much of a syringe is left. I want to know how much of the stapler is left, pills, everything to do with meds except for bandage doesn't need it. It's a one-time use. Food does a really good job. If you're eating food, you know how many bites is left. Well, we need that with the med system as well. So overall, great game so far. Excited about the future. Wowzers. So the state of the game, Contractors Showdown Exfilzone. That is my thoughts of the game currently. I'm very impressed with this game. I'm impressed where it's going, and I'm excited. This video happened to go a little bit longer than I expected, so we're gonna have to do a part 2 where we're gonna have to go into Ghost of Tabor, and that is a beast in itself. Probably gonna be a long video as well. Please, if you could, like and subscribe. It's totally up to you. For more content like this, we're gonna work on that part 2. Not sure when that will come out next, maybe in a week, maybe in a week or 2. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you agree with me. I hope you disagree with me. Regardless, please let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. Also, if you guys are interested in the task guide, it should be in the description down below. And if you guys are interested in catching me live on Twitch, you guys are welcome to come over. It's just Plumber Carl on Twitch. Thank you guys so much again for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, a great night. I hope you guys take care of each other, take care of yourself, and God bless. We'll see you guys in the next video, part 2, Ghost of Tabor. She should be spicy. See you guys.